Hello there guys, and welcome to a new Chainsaw video. Today I have a very great topic to talk about. I want to talk about the GOAT of One Piece, one of the most underrated iconic characters in the whole verse. I want to talk about Corazon. Well, let's start first with his personality, right? When Trafalgar Law first met with Rocinante was noted for hating kids. So the man hated the man acted like he hated kids, especially when Baby 5 and Buffalo played practical jokes on him, such as making him slip upon passing through the doorway or giving him like scalded in tea that burned his tongue, resulting in his abusive behavior towards them. In fact, the first thing that Rocinante did when he first met Law was to grab him and throw him out the window. This was actually part of an act, because he and his duty as a marine is to drive kids crazy to the point that they quit the Don Quixote pirate crew, right? Which he felt with Baby 5, Buffalo, and Dillinger. And Law, but not really. Despite his outward behavior of a violent man who disliked children, he genuinely inherited his father's kindness, something even Doflamingo admitted himself, believing that his older brother is a monster born evil. Like, he truly believed that his brother was a psychopath. He was an evil person. He was a reincarnation of evil and only acted cruel towards children in the hopes of driving them away from following Doflamingo. When he had a call with Sengoku, we all knew at that moment that everything that he did to kids had a purpose, and this is why I started loving this character. This is why it's kind of different when you see Rocinante's actions. Every action that he made so much sense, to the point that it made him look like a saint afterward. He cared deeply for his birth family as well, as he wept for his mother's death and cried when his brother was shot with an arrow. Like, to see his backstory, which we're gonna talk about right now, is just sad considering how much of a sweetheart the man is. He's one of the most kindest character in One Piece, like straight out. Like, he's on the Luffy realm when it comes to being so kind, right? So let's talk about his history now. Rocinante was born as the second son of Don Quixote Homing, a member of the world nobles, and after when Rocinante was 6-year-old, the brothers lost their status, him and Doflamingo, as world nobles, which two of them had a different approach toward it, right? Doflamingo became a pure evil when that happened because, of course, he wanted slaves, but Rocinante was, the kind kid who actually didn't mind having just living among people and stuff, right? So, after they moved to an unknown northern country, the citizens learned that the Don Quixote family were no longer world nobles. So, of course, they persecuted the family for all the misery the celestial dragons had inflicted onto them and their loved ones, right? The enraged citizens burned down their manor and forced them to flee. Rocinante and his family then, of course, lived in a rundown shack in a junkyard. While living in poverty, their mother died from an illness and Rocinante cried his shit out. Right, the remaining 3 were eventually captured by locals and got tortured to hell. They got tortured I feel like the backstory of the Don Quixote family is one of the saddest and one of the most tragic stories in One Piece, honestly. And to see how Rocinante actually became a good person after all of this happened to him by normal people just cements him as one of the GOATs, honestly, one of the GOATs, because honestly, I bet on my mama's life, if anyone was in that situation, that particular situation, everybody would at least follow Doflamingo. Look, you're living in mansions, you're getting all the bitches, you're getting all the slave. I mean, look, I don't like slave, don't get I don't like slavery, don't twist it. But imagine if you were in that situation at that One Piece universe, right? At the One Piece verse, and everything got taken away from you and you got tortured by the normal people you used to own and stuff, right? like you would hate everyone, and I bet you would follow Doflamingo. So yeah, after 2 years, Doflamingo went back to his dad and, well, he pulled the trigger, right? He pulled the trigger and killed his dad, and Rocinante was pleading for him to spare his dad, but I mean, Doflamingo, like, he's not gonna, bro, he doesn't give a fuck. He killed his dad straight out. So while Doflamingo took their father's head back to Marijua land, only to be denied, right? He was denied. So Rocinante went off on his own journey with a broken heart. He wandered until Admiral Sengoku found him and took him in. And later, he enlisted in the Marines, rising ranks as a commander. So after 14 years, when Doflamingo became a pirate, and the captain of Don Quixote Pirates specialized in the black market trades using the name of Joker, Rocinante returned to him to monitor his activity and to inform Admiral Sengoku, since now he's a commander, right? So Rocinante simulated to have become mute and became his second in command and an elite officer alongside Treble, Pica, and Diamante, right? So he was the second Corazon, and Virgo, of course, was the first. So he also, we need to address the fact that he ate the Nagi Nagi no Mi, which he did not tell his crew and used it against them. And we all gotta know that the Nagi Nagi no Mi is one of, like, people think that it is a weak devil fruit, but it is not. It is the best fruit when it comes to spying, actually. If you are a spy and own this fruit, you literally own in any mission you got. So yeah, that is that. So after he met Law, everything changed for him, especially when he learned that his name contained a D. Not the D that you're thinking about, but the D. So yeah, after he took care of him and kidnapped him, you know, in a good way. Imagine kidnapping someone in a good way. That's what happened actually. Corazon kidnapped Law and tried to treat him because at first he thought that he was doing it for the day, but later on he realized that he actually cared about him. He actually cared about Law. And of course, the only solution after the fact that he went to every hospital and everyone denied the fact that Law should get treated, he tried to steal the Opi no Mi, and there where he was fucking up with the Doflamingo's pirate crew. So after everything got discovered, like everything got exposed and stuff like that, like the Doflamingo crew realized that he was a spy all along. Virgo beat the shit out of him, but thankfully it was after the fact that Law ate the fruit. So yeah, the Don Quixote family like ganged up on him, they killed him. It was a very tragic moment for Corazon, but at least he made sure that Law is free now. Law at that moment was a free kid, or should we say a man. And yeah, this is all about Corazon's backstory. It is one of the saddest stories, and it, like, if you really watched it one time, I truly advise you to go back and rewatch it again, because I feel like it is one of the best written stories in One Piece. So now I will talk about a little bit of trivia about Corazon and Law actually. So Corazon stands for heart in Spanish, and we all know that Law's crew is the Heart Pirates, which makes sense for Corazon being heart in Spanish and the Law crew being the Heart Pirates. So that is one of the great things about Oda's symbolism and stuff. And even the Jolly Roger of Law is representing Corazon, right? Rocinante Marine Code is 01746. When it's read in reverse, it is 64710. Roshi na 10 or Rocinante. So his code is actually means Rocinante. So the dynamic between Virgo and Rocinante resembled the film Infernal Affairs, where a criminal is undercover as a policeman, and the policeman is undercover as a criminal, both working for the same underworld kingpin. It plays out in the much same way, with the undercover policeman being killed after fighting the mole after going to him for help, and the police mole escaping and maintaining his cover only to be later killed in revenge. As we all know, Virgo was an undercover marine, And Corazon was an undercover pirate, and at that moment when he killed him, it was literally the same thing, considering that Law gonna go back and gets his revenge back on Virgo and gonna kill him afterward in Punk Hazard. So I feel like it's one of the best symbolism and one of the things that people ignore most of the time. So that is that, guys. I hope y'all loved this video. If you did, make sure to smash the like button, and yeah, see ya in the next one, guys. Take care.